Let's go to the Game Awards, the biggest night of 2024 when it comes to gaming. And Grant, you felt very, very excited. The recipe kind of built up to this, though. The Game Awards. Big categories, big nominees. This is going to be sensational.
It's been a very interesting year for video games.
Yeah.
I think games as a service, you know, these games like Marvel, Rivals, the Fortnite, they've kind of solidified the industry. A lot of AAA studios went out of business because people are like shifting the way they buy games. I think a lot of people bought less games this year and bought more battle passes.
Yes.
I don't know if you were in that boat.
Yes, it's interesting.
Yeah, which is very interesting. So the Game Awards this year, they are the most prestigious award. They're like the Academy Awards of video games.
Yeah.
Snoop Dogg's going to be one of the hosts.
Oh, that's
it's going to be the wild guests that are going to be there. Very excited, and that's tonight, I think.
All right.
Yeah, it's early hours of our morning, which is wild.
There's a lot of nominees. We're going to try and get through all of them, but Game of the Year, let's start there.
Okay, yeah.
Big
So
nominees.
the list is interesting. We did Astrobot. Astrobot, I think, is an awesome game that came out on PlayStation. It was one of those games that I don't think people thought was going to be as good as it was, and I'm so glad it's on this list. It's like their attempt at doing a Mario Brothers, and it's very, very cool. Shows off the game controller. Balatro as well. Black Myth Wukong. That was been like, you know, touted for quite a while now. People have been looking forward to Black Myth Wukong for some time. It's a Chinese studio that's made like a Dark Souls-like game. Unfortunately, I never got to play it. I've watched a lot of people and got into a lot of people's opinions about the game.
Yes.
But it's beautiful looking and uses the new Unreal Engine. And I've got a feeling it's going to be the winner this year.
Ooh.
I think it's kind of a... I don't know if they're going to give it to Astrobot. I would vote Astrobot as the winner.
Yeah.
But Black Myth Wukong. Then Elden Ring, Shadow of the Erd Tree, and Final Fantasy VII. Final Fantasy VII is a massive game for people in the know and who love Japanese role-playing games.
Yeah.
JRPGs, as we call them in the scene. I think it did really, really well this year. And I think it's been a kind of like ignited a fire in that community. And then another game called Metaphor. But my vote is going to be on Black Myth Wukong and on Astrobot. Or actually Final Fantasy VII, unfortunately. I'm not a major fan.
Oh, no, I can hear that, but it's cool. I actually want to hear what your winner would be in each of these categories. Next one would be Action Adventure.
So we did, Action Adventure category has been really cool this year because a lot of smaller studios made smaller games that were very exciting. There are some omissions to this list, which I'm disappointed about. But Prince of Persia is here. We did Prince of Persia on the show.
Yes.
And if you remember, I'm really excited. I really pushed to review that because I think there are a lot of people that love the Prince of Persia franchise. We grew up playing it.
Of course we did.
And they kind of went back to their roots with this one. Silent Hill 2. Which is obviously the definitive horror.
Jump scare
horror, like Resident Evil, and I'm glad they brought that back. Then Star Wars Outlaws, which I think kind of came, like no one was expecting this game to be really good, and it turned out to be amazing.
Yeah.
And just have a whole lot of heart and story, so that's going to be great. And then Zelda Echoes of Wisdom, which I think was very cool. It was one of those games where it's the Legend of Zelda series. You always play as Link. Right, Link is the protagonist, and you save Zelda the princess. Everyone gets that the other way around. But this was the game where you got to play as Zelda. You got to play as the princess, which was really cool in that adventure. And then jumping through to best multiplayer games, this was a huge year for multiplayer. Call of Duty Black Ops 6, which was obviously like one of the biggest games of the year.
Yep.
Then Helldivers 2, which I think is going to take the cake because it was like
That's your winner.
I think that's going to be the winner this year. They kind of changed the scene a little bit. And then I'm just going to brush through this quick.
Yeah.
I'm going to jump into the best sporting games because I know a lot of people at home in South Africa care about that stuff.
Definitely.
Formula 1 24 is actually nominated, and I think it's going to, I don't know if it's going to win, but it's definitely up there and it deserves to be there. EA Sports FC 25, and I'm sure you're
a favorite.
very excited about that.
I don't think it'll win, though, in the category. I think NBA will take it.
You think so? Yeah, NBA 2K is there. 25 is nominated. I don't know if it's going to win. I think Topspin 2K25 is going to win. I think Topspin was really good. And I think tennis and paddle is having their time in the limelight and making a really good tennis game. It's been a long time.
Yes.
Since Wii Sports.
I love that game. I still love it, by the way, that game. Still, if I get leave, that's the one I play. It's so cool.
And then WWE 2K was 2025 or 25 was also a big game this year.
I saw a lot of videos with that game because you could customize the characters.
Yeah, people loved that game.
Yeah.
But like whether it's a sport or not is a very contentious issue. So I think Topspin should be taking the cake on this one.
Nice.
But yeah, it's there's a lot of heat in that category, so we'll see how that goes.
All right, we're going to have to do a follow-up chat with Grant Hinds about the winners. That'll be when the Game Awards eventually get their winners out there. Of course, that's all the nominees. So they're going to embody all the spirit of creativity and competition, the amazing focus on narrative. These are what actually make games fantastic. So the Game Awards promise not just accolades, but a celebration of community stories and innovations that define gaming today. So stay with us. This is your Feel Good Breakfast Show.